Well, ladies and gentlemen, the wheel continues to turn in the world of Castlevania. So, Quinn, the whole the whole time we were streaming last time, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I wonder if Quinn is liking Castlevania so far, and you keep singing its praises, and have you and Kinsey watched any of it in your spare time?
No, I haven't got them. So Kinsey works third shift, and they sleep super late.
Yeah.
And so I normally am working when they leave. The only day that we kind of cross paths is on Friday.
Oh.
And I'm thinking this Friday I'm going to try to talk them into a few episodes.
Yeah, give them the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 1.
Oh, they'll be in.
Oh, absolutely. I think they'll be in. And we'll continue with this. I mean, by the end of tonight, we will be done with halfway of season 2.
Neat.
So yeah, I'm glad you're liking this so far, because and people are happy that we're watching Castlevania again. They're just like, oh my gosh, thank you guys for coming back to this. And I'm just like, it took us a few years, but yeah, we're finally back.
A pet peeve of mine. If you were in the comments saying, hey, didn't you guys react to this before? If you literally listen to the first part of the first video, Nate discussed that. Most of those people who make comments like that don't have the time in their day to look at the first part of the video, because time is precious to them and they just got to skip to the goodies. They probably shouldn't be watching YouTube then.
No, apparently not. Well, because look, guys, context matters in a lot of senses in the world, and with this, if you don't pay attention to the context that we lay out in the beginning of the friggin' reactions, I'm sorry, you're the dum-dum, not us.
Some good shit at the beginning of those two. I think some of the best moments on the channel happened before or after a video, not during it.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, we had an awesome one the other day. Me and Jacob and Nick were down here, and we were discussing Rainbow Six Siege, and a moment that we had. It was me. I was playing with Jacob and Bone, and we had a random with us, and I think Wolf was with us as well. And we were all playing, and it was at the end of the match, and Jacob was the last one alive, and he had to defuse. The bomb, and there was like 15 seconds left at the top, and he couldn't find where the bomb was, and we were just like, "It's behind you." And Bone, the random, and Wolf were all just yelling, "It's behind you, to your left, to your right, behind you, to your left, to your right." And me, I was just sitting there, and I'm just like, he's gonna get confused, and he's gonna get mad, and I was just like, trying to give the most constructive thing. It's like, Jake, it's back where he's at, and then all of a sudden, I just hear Jake go, "Shut the fuck up!" and me and Jake and Nick were sitting here, and we were discussing that, and Jake said, after I yelled that, I woke up my girlfriend's kid.
Oh no!
I woke up my girlfriend's kid. It was like 2 a.m, and he just came in there. He's just like, "Jake, are you okay?" And we're just like, "Oh gosh," because when we heard that, I was like, "Oh no, our gaming is affecting others in a bad way." Sorry, kid. Didn't mean to interrupt your beauty sleep.
Oh my gosh, I'm that person that like chokes if I'm put into pressure, and if you start yelling at me, I also will just set down the controller.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't yelling. It was Bone, our random, and Wolf. Everyone was just going and chattering up, and me, I was just sitting there just like, he's gonna get mad,
I choked.
and then all of a sudden Jake just like outright just says, "Shut the fuck up." And then we're just like, okay, all right, and then we back off.
But did he get the bomb?
Oh, he got it.
Okay.
He got there, and he's just like, he picks it up, starts doing the whole thing, and then we're just like, oh, and he's just like, good God, I heard it's to your left, it's to your right, it's behind you, it's back where he died. It's like, guys, come on. Whenever stuff like this is going on, let's try and have a clear call out on this. And it's like, okay, fine. But the discussion of that, we were dying laughing. Like, Jake was like over on his side laughing because of the fact that he woke up his girlfriend's son. Oh god.
Like Mackenzie and I still play Fortnite. We're a really good team, but
That's
Mackenzie
good.
has started not calling out as well as they used to.
Oh no.
I guess they think I know what they're thinking, but like it doesn't make sense.
Well, look, there's certain levels of comfort you get playing with somebody. Like, you can.
We don't talk about weapons or healing items anymore. We just swap off.
That's not good. That's not good. You see, whenever there's like a breaching strat, like you're talking about, there's someone in the house, you want to go in and get them. It's like, okay, I'm going to approach from the top. You come up the stairs and you creep up the stairs,
and when they're concentrated on me, you get them, and stuff like that. Like, you can discuss strats like that, and then after doing it long enough, just be like, you want to run the strat? Yeah, let's do it. And then you don't even have to say anything else after that.
The most I do about that is like, oh, I'm going to flank because you're over here. I'm going to go back this way. And all that cool, and then we just take care of it.
Yeah.
But recently, because we're playing duos, we'll run into a duo, and Kenzie will go, oh, 35, shield's broke. They're one shot, and they're dead. And I'm like, who's one shot? Did you get the other one? Did you knock anyone? Like, and then like we're getting third party at the same time, and I'm like,
oh boy.
Did you not think to tell me that there were more than 2 people in the beginning? Like, and Kenzie was like, oh.
Oh, sorry.
Because then I'm like, oh, okay, they're one shot. And I go in there, and they're, like, both already healed. And then there's, like, a third one.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hi there. I'm going to die now.
Or I'm like, where are they? On my body. Their body is, like, up here. The player is, like, over here.
You're like that one kid from The Simpsons. I'm in danger now.
I feel like I pull some weight now. Like,
Hey, if you're getting good enough at it to where you're doing work, you can be proud of that.
It used to be Kenzie was reviving me every match. Now it's me going, oh my fucking god, let me get you.
Yeah, and Kenzie's like, thank you, and then you get to the respawn van, and you're just like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this, man. I can't keep this up.
They like to die when I get put in the situation of I'm respawning them in the storm with limited healing items and somehow still pulling it off. And every time I die, they're like, oh, here's our little van right next to us. And I'm like, can you die in different places?
Yes, please. God. Well, speaking of dying, I hope no dying happens to this for our main characters. Oh, Quinn, don't break my heart like that. Don't pre-break my heart. Because if anything happens to Trevor, Alucard, or Sifa, I'm just going to be like, oh.
I can't pre-break your heart. Only you can do that.
That's poetic right there. Anyway, this is Castlevania Season 2, Episode 3, Shadow Battles. Here we go. Ah, so peaceful. So serene.
This is going to be a nice
How are you going to ruin
episode.
it, Dracula? Wait, is this the valley where Dracula's castle spawned?
I think so, but I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've seen Stranger Things before.
Oh, no. No. Poor doggo. No, it's the kid with the resurrection. Who's able to resurrect. The necromancer. And just like that. Hey, buddy. You know, I wouldn't mind an undead dog. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I'd just throw, like, some bandages around his belly and his neck, and then, like, maybe give him, like, an eye covering.
That dog doesn't have a bow.
And Dracula himself clearly agrees. He listens to you.
As much as he does to Isaac. Which is, frankly, not much.
I believe you are actually worried about Dracula.
We talked for hours. After his wife died, he came to me, asking for my help. Can you imagine? Asking a human for help in order to avenge a human.
Well, not just any human, his wife. Kitty.
They killed my wife.
They?
The humans. Spiteful, evil humans. The
Well.
humans you renounced.
Like any animal, I think the world would be poorer with their extinction. I would just see to it that they couldn't harm anyone else.
Then that is how it shall be.
Make some troops that you can trust completely with whatever they find. And then help me convince Dracula to attack Prela.
She's a little conniving, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She has her own goals.
That's my tree.
I don't know if a tree is the first thing I would notice coming back to my childhood home,
It's
but
hard to imagine you
I would
playing.
notice. I would notice mine. I had a tree that I played around a lot. It was actually in the middle of this big, dense forested area, but I remember it. I would remember it unless it's been cut down by now. But there were 3 stones that sat around it, and it was actually really cool because there were like the trenches between the stones were deep enough to where you could like go through them like trenches in wartime and stuff like that. It was an awesome place. Like going back there and just making our own little forts. Like we each had our 3 individual stones. I had the one on the far back left, and I just pretty much made it my personal island. I had a Pokemon card collection that I hid underneath in a little wooden box. I had I had a sword that I brought back there that I'd sharpened on the rocks back there and like used to chop through the foliage so that we could enhance the pathway. We made like a big clubhouse back there. It was me, Andrew Wooten, and Cody Skeen. We all just went back there and had a blast.
well, I didn't have a childhood tree. I've been robbed.
That's okay. I mean, everyone's childhood is different. I mean,
I started playing WoW in 4th grade, so that's my childhood.
oh, you know what my mom's childhood thing was?
What?
The holler. It was literally like the backwoods holler where my great grandparents lived. She used to go on walks back there with my great grandmother, and they would like look at the wormwood trees. And they're extinct now, which sucks because the only place that they were official designation in the tree index, but the only place they grew were in the Appalachian Mountains, and the grove of them in the valley where my great grandparents lived was the only place in Southwest Virginia that had them, and they're gone now. But my mom still has a good collection of the wormwood in her basement at her house because my grandfather actually made it was a shelving unit. It was actually like a shelving thing that he made, and it fell apart, but she still has the wood because it has those holes in it that are very specific to wormwood.
Huh.
It's really, really cool. But everyone has their childhood like a couch or a futon or like a place they hung out a lot. Like under in the closet in the back of one of my old closets there was a little crawl space. I used to go back there sometimes and just sit back there with my Game Boy with the little plug-in light.
I guess mine was like the swing set that's still there.
Yeah.
It's like I had to walk a busy road to get there. My parents let me. It was like a mile away from the house, and I'd walk there and meet friends there and shit. And, get into shenanigans we shouldn't have because we were teenagers, but that was my fucking
As you
swing
do.
set.
As you do. No, I mean...
I was that teenager that, had headphones and found this, single swing set. It was just swinging, listening to music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually friends would walk up, and we'd throw rocks at people. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I have totally chucked a huge rock at one of my friends before. It missed.
Oh, thank goodness.
It would have probably busted her head. I was pissed at her. But my childhood was crazy.
So the few times me and Andrew fought, we fought on Andrew's stone because it was the biggest. And good lord, well, Andrew was a brown belt in karate, and me, I knew very little about that because I didn't get into kickboxing until I was in high school. But he pretty much every fight we got in, he kicked my ass because he knew how to evade, redirect, and all that. But yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, back to it.
How old were you when your family home was taken?
13, 14, something like that. Maybe 12. Who remembers that sort of thing?
Most people.
12. I'm disturbed to find that I had more of a childhood than you did.
And your dad's fucking Dracula.
A little bit of bonding.
never
That
hurts.
was a good one.
Yeah.
Your hidden entrance looks like a hearthstone.
Just help me clear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, just don't worry about it.
Mahorera. Sol. Grum. Modo. Teloch.
Damn.
Open sesame.
Was that an Enochian ward? It's the magical door of death, Belmont.
Are you coming or what?
In all honesty, this has been said before. In order to fight the darkest of magic, one must study the occult in order to know how to fight it.
I mean, yeah.
That's a given. That's something anyone and everyone who, like, in fantasy admits to. And that's one reason why a lot of people see stuff by T.S. Eliot and J.R.R. Tolkien and Gary Gygax. Like, a lot of people see that as evil, demonic, and all that. It's like, is it really evil to know your enemy and to know the devil and to know what his tricks are? No, it's you studying what not to do. Now, those who do get bewitched by it and go down the wrong path and all that, usually in fantasy
I think
stories.
you're missing the best example of this.
Go ahead.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, that is one that I would say follows that pathway
I would say
pretty
that
well.
one gets blocked off by so many like parents all the time for being witchcraft.
Well, it was never blocked off for me
It
because
wasn't for me either.
because the thing is it's a children's book. Well, it starts out as a children's book.
It grows with you.
It does indeed. And I will say this. Overall, with the examples that are in Harry Potter, the thing is it's not what you do with it's not the implied intent of the magic. Because as Ollivander said, Voldemort was a great magician. He did terrible things, but he was great.
Yeah.
Great in his scale of what he did. Now, that could be interpreted as well. Whatever you do with the knowledge gained by studying the occult, are you going to do good things or are you going to do terrible things?
I agree with this. My 8-year-old asked me the other day.
Oh, no.
By the way, looked me dead in the face earlier today and told me that life was too hard.
Yeah. Look, I don't know the inner machinations of a child's mind. I was a child once myself.
She had lost a mobile game. That was it.
That's it. She lost a mobile game. Woo!
But
my goodness.
we were talking about like you need to stop watching creepypastas on YouTube because then now you're being a little bitch about it. Basically, as she goes, are hackers real?
Yes.
Is Bigfoot real? Is
Debatable.
Okay, I have one more question, and we're like, yeah, is witchcraft bad? And me and my mom are like,
What?
and I just kind of don't know how to answer it. And I go, it depends.
It depends on your intent as a
but
person.
you don't need to be looking into it until
No.
you're, probably
of age.
16 to 17 at least. Probably.
I would say
old enough to actually read.
Yeah, I would say 13 to 17 is the fragile time in a child's life where they learn stuff
I don't know
and
if
can
she
interpret it
I didn't want to say
various
anything because I
ways.
didn't know if she was watching like Wiccan stuff or if she meant like
Oh,
fucking
no.
like
Yeah.
part of her creepypastas.
Yeah,
And
because
so I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, it's bad, because then she would have been like, oh, so Wiccans are bad people.
No, because I've met some decent Wiccans. I've met some Wiccans who have the best intentions.
I know
and the
way
best-
too. Like, considering how frequent where we live, let me put it that way. Living in the Bible Belt of the South, I actually know so many Wiccans.
Well, no, because here's the thing. We don't live in the deep South. Keep that in mind. We live in a very odd area that has its own form of mythology and religion. There's because the mountains, like the natives believed that Abingdon was used to believe that Abingdon, the town of Abingdon, was a holy place, and you could not travel there because the spirits were too enriched in the area, and you would lose yourself. That's what they believed. And the natives never traveled there.
I never knew that.
Yeah, they considered it a holy place, a fertile place. And you see, no matter what people say, every religious influence that has been in an area can affect you in some way if you read about it. That's just like, I have family members that have read that and, think, they don't think Abingdon's like a holy place, but they definitely judge Abingdon a little bit differently because there's also the mineral springs that are...
It's like a respect thing almost.
Yeah, it is. And there's also the mineral springs that are in this one area that actually have been shown to heal people. There was actually a guy had all these sores and everything on his face, went up to these well springs, washed his face, and within a week all of the lesions on his face were gone. And it's because the minerals in the water down there have a natural property in them that actually help heal infections.
Interesting.
Yes, it's weird stuff, and you think, is this nature doing this? Is this something else driving this forward? It raises a lot of questions. And even though I have my philosophy that I believe on certain things to a certain extent, I don't throw out possibilities of other things existing. No, I don't completely.
And I've always tried to encourage as much as you can with an 8-year-old. Like, you should explore.
Well, yeah.
And learn and educate yourself and form your own opinions.
It's good to have a basis on certain things.
You need to form your own opinions, research what you're interested in. Like, if she wants to look into, being Wiccan in 5 years, that's fine. But she's like 8 right now.
Yeah,
And I think that...
Hold off.
I think that witchcraft to her means, like, evil.
That's something that, it... Yeah.
She thinks of, like, witches on Halloween right now still.
Well, I'd have her watch Halloween Town. Halloween Town 1 and 2, because, honestly, that does a good job showing, it really depends on your intent with the magic.
Yeah, she's definitely getting to the age where she's starting to question the world, and I don't know how to answer her all the time.
No, well, if you don't get a grip on it early on, she will have a full rebellion by the time she hits puberty.
I did too.
Well, no, I know, but the thing is, you don't try and enforce things upon her. Allow her to explore, and if she asks you questions, answer honestly and forthright. Don't dance around it, because that's one thing that I will say my aunt and uncle did with my cousin, and holy hell, did my cousin have a big rebellious streak. She just lost her fucking gourd.
My mom dances around her, and I was like, I don't know, it depends what you're doing with it.
No, because kids, if you're honest with them outright, and you take out the vagueness of a lot of situations, and of course, don't you sugarcoat certain things that are too hard-edged for them now, but they'll ask, but it's above their head right now, but once it gets to the level where they understand,
they'll know.
They understand the situation. Then, yeah. That's why I'm not going to do the Santa Claus thing with my kids. If I ever do have kids, I'm not going to lie and say there's a big fat dude in a red suit who eats cookies that comes down her chimney that doesn't fucking exist.
Bro, I spent $300 on you. Me.
Yeah. No, I'm not even going to pull that. I'm just going to say this is based on an old pagan holiday where, we gather together, we bring an evergreen into our house, and we share gifts with one another. We put Christianity on it because, because honestly, the American marketing team just thought it would be neat. And that's it. No, really. That's the truth. That's the truth.
God. Your kids are like 7 years old, and they're in their first day of like second grade or whatever.
No.
They're like, hey, everyone stand up and tell me a fact about yourself.
Here's what I'm going to tell them.
And Nate's kid's like, taxation is theft. Christmas isn't real.
No, because here's the thing I'm going to tell them. If kids believe in Santa Claus, you do not ruin that for them. Because they'll find out themselves eventually. That's one thing I'm going to tell them. It's like, they'll find out eventually. And when they do, then you can just tell them how you found out that there was no Santa Claus.
Nate's kid is on the playground crushing hopes and dreams, being real talk with these kids.
Well, that's the thing. We raise a nation of dreamers in this country, and don't get me wrong, it's good to dream, but you also have to be aware of where the ground is. Otherwise, you'll fall so far, you'll wind up breaking something. That's the problem that I have.
And in most cases, it's your head.
Yes. Yeah. You fracture your ego, and you're never able to recover from that. Anyway, let's finish this episode and get to the next one.
I don't know what we're doing.
I don't either. It's a low-rent philosophy class with the Renegades. Heyo.
Disclaimer, we do not have philosophy degrees.
But we don't have to have one in order to, speak our mind. I love this woman. She's awesome. Sifa Belnades. You see? That's awesome. I love that.
My God.
An archive of everything we've found and learned since the days of Leon and Belmont.
Whoops.
What was your Leon Belmont doing in Wallachia?
The best I got out of this shit's a photo album. Like, that's all my family memories are. Ooh, a hidden chest.
Bloody hell. Is that what I think it is?
Careful, Trevor. You almost sounded excited about something.
Could it?
Just open it.
Just open the damn thing. It couldn't be, could it? Thor, Oak, and Shield, shut the fuck up and open the damn chest. You've seen The Hobbit, right?
So I've read the book and I was trying to think, isn't Thorin the one that ended up being kind of an asshole?
In the beginning, yes, but eventually he warms to
I can't
Bilbo.
remember why I thought he was an asshole. I think the one that I thought was an asshole.
There it
was
is.
Sweet.
Yes.
I don't believe they hid it. It's the Morning Star.
You're not even a little bit impressed?
Well, it's like a museum dedicated to the extermination of my people, so no, not thrilled.
Well, keep in mind, most vampires view humans as livestock.
Yeah.
So, in truth, that's, these are two conflicting ideologies. What the Belmonts wanted was a world free to where humans could roam, and what the vampires wanted was one where they ruled and humans were their livestock.
He's handling it well.
As well as someone can. Not only was he betrayed by his father, Dracula, and left to rot underneath the city of Gresham in a coffin, but now they're pretty much going on a journey to kill Dracula. And
With people that kill vampires. That's fine.
Yes.
You'll be taken care of, Godbrand.
Yes, of course, right. Except, what if we're not? What if you just want to kill all the humans and you don't leave us enough to keep in camps to feed from?
I have told you how it will be. The humans will die. You will be taken care of.
Then why are you still here, making your little noises? Get out before I slit you up the middle and bite out your heart.
Yeah, that's... keep in mind, this is Vlad fucking Dracula you're talking to. The king of vampires, and overall just a badass.
And how is our lord and master? You stupid bastard.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That guy's dead.
Fall down the stairs won't kill him.
What the hell was that for?
But in time he grew old and cruel and mad. And I was bound to him. Until I decided to take back my world. And then I come here to meet with the leader of our nation, and what do I find? A mad, cruel old man. Never again, Godbrand. Never again.
Well, there you go. That's one way to handle shit. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. That's a lot right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in right there because, it shows that Carmilla, that pretty much proves her ulterior motive right there, that she intentionally...
Oh, we knew something was up with the bitch.
Oh, well, Dracula is the king of the vampires, so they can't just take him out, period. But if they somehow managed to lead him in to the wrong kind of fight where he is at the disadvantage and choose not to help him, that may very well be where this goes for Dracula. Because I think he has the loyalty of Hector and Isaac, the two humans, the Forge Master and I forget what Isaac does.
Other one.
Well, no, Isaac, I know Hector's the Forge Master. I forget if Isaac is also a Forge Master or if he is he's just infield general.
I was going to say, I think he's more of like a strategy planner or something.
Yeah, probably master strategist. But overall, the whole thing has just come to a head now, and I think Carmilla is doing everything she can to get Hector on her side, and potentially also maybe Isaac in the future. And I think Carmilla is looking for ends with the other vampires to effectively form a head vampire council after Dracula has been dispatched by Trevor and I think that's what she's planning. I don't think it's going to go her way. I think she's going to get killed. I think eventually Dracula is going to find out what she's up to, because keep in mind, all this is taking place in his castle where he has eyes and ears everywhere. You think that he doesn't have anything going on? I think Hector's going to give her up and she's going to get killed.
Probably.
That's what I think anyway, because truth is, this level of underhanded backstabbing is, it will net you pretty much an early demise if you get caught.
Yeah, she's not really trying to be secretive. She's went to two different people.
Well, yeah, she went to Hector, who is Dracula's Forge Master and pretty much oversees the birth of new night, creatures of the night. And now she's gone to Godbrand, who is one of Dracula's, most trusted confidants. And her and Godbrand have history, but now she's pretty much playing her hand and telling Godbrand, we need to take action or else Dracula will lead us to death.
I am ready for shit to go down. I right at this point in time, I'm kind of like, every time we go back to her, I'm like, can we get over this scene? I'm done with her. Let's let some shit go down. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. I'm actually interested to see how her character is going to develop, because if it will develop, I don't know. Dracula may find out next episode and then kill her.
I don't like her. Anytime she's on screen, I'm just like,
well, I don't like her either because she's a bitch. But at the same time, I can
appreciate her character.
Okay, that's fair.
She bores me.
Really?
Yeah. I think I can't say what I think.
No, go ahead, say it. If it's something bad, I'll censor it.
To me, she's just like this bitch that walked in thinking she's gonna own the place, and I hate that personality.
Well, honestly though, I've ran into that more times than I can count. And honestly, on one hand, I've seen it enough, and I know that there's a lot of people who are entitled, who think that they are entitled to something because of X, but, because of, insert whatever happening here. Yeah. But her, where she is one of the eldest vampires, and she used to have a master, like we just saw there at the end, and what she did to her former master, she feels as though, it's not the sense that she's entitled to it, it's that she is willing to manipulate, she's vampire Cersei.
Yeah, and I never liked Cersei either.
I didn't well, here's the thing. I hated Cersei. That's me. Sorry. I hated Cersei. But the truth is, I respected her enough as a character to where I wanted to see how her story would play out. But where Cersei was a pathetic human being who expected everyone else to do her dirty work for her, this bitch, she does the dirty work herself. Like her kicking Godbrand down the fucking stairs and just being like, listen up, you conniving little redheaded shit.
Yeah, I think Cersei I eventually started actually caring about scenes she was in.
Yes.
And maybe that'll happen with this one too. But right now I'm just like, keep in mind, I didn't like fucking Tyrion when I first met him either.
Exactly, you hated Tyrion, and then he
Anytime
became your
someone
favorite
has like
character.
one of those personalities, I just immediately don't
Well,
like
yeah,
them.
the shit don't stink personality. I get that. But Tyrion, the thing with him is, he puts that aura on, but he doesn't actually believe it.
Yeah, once you actually got to know him better, I started liking him.
And you see that he's actually just a victim of this hierarchy that his father has tried to instill in him. He fell in love with a prostitute, and he wanted to marry, and he married her. And then what does his father do? He wanted to prove to her that she loves coin more than she loves you, and thus was going to pay her a silver for every man she fucked right there in the middle of the court. And she did exactly that, and it broke Tyrion's heart. And it made him a cold...
I fucking forgot about that.
Oh, God. I will never forget that as long as I live, because that is a level of cruelty I would never impose on my child. Look, if I have a daughter, and my daughter wanted to marry this wannabe gangbanger, like, shithead of a dude, I would voice my objections, but ultimately I have no control over what she wants. If she's a consenting adult, who the hell am I to tell? Like, if she comes in here with like a Lil Wayne looking motherfucker who can't speak in plain sentences and string two words together because he's so fucking high off of his ass, I'm gonna be concerned as hell. But again, I have no control over what she does. I can voice my opinions and I can be there to help her out, but she has to be the one to figure her life out, not me. I have no like rights to tell a person what they can and cannot do.
You're saying that you wouldn't pay him to fuck a bunch of girls to piss off your daughter? That's absurd.
I would
you
not.
You don't know how to parent.
No. Yeah. Oh no. Well, here's the thing. If he's already out, I guarantee you, he'll probably be fucking around with a bunch of other chicks behind her back, and she won't know about it, or she probably does know about it and is just playing a blind eye to it, and maybe eventually she'll because here's the thing, human beings most of the time are stubborn creatures that need to have the point literally hammered into our fucking heads. Because we are stubborn creatures. Stubbornness is the very reason why we are where we're at. Stubbornness. It's like, we want to go to space. Okay, shoot a rocket up. Okay, 7 people died trying to shoot him up into space. Okay, what do we do now? Let's shoot a monkey into space. Okay, that didn't work out. What do we do now? Shoot a dog into space? Okay, hey, it lived. Oh shit, it died of oxygen exhaustion. But hey, we proved now we can make it into space and have something live up there for an X amount of time. What do we do now? Shoot another monkey into space. Hey, it made it. Oh, God, it died on re-entry. Shit, we didn't quite make it. Okay, what about this time? It's like, yeah, exactly. We're stubborn pieces of shit as a species, but yet that is why we are where we are, and we have the comforts that we have nowadays. Yeah, it's Shorty and Chad. Chad probably just got home, and Shorty usually just bolts right at him and just like tackles him. And him and Shorty have a wrestling match.
I tried so hard for us not to pause the episode again. Is Thorin... I read the book like a year ago, so bear with me.
Thorin Oakenshield.
Incorrect. But didn't he literally end up kind of turning against Bilbo at one point, being like, this is my shit, fuck you, dude. And then he died?
Well, he was bewitched by... he was bewitched by the stone. He was bewitched by the stone that... I forget the name of it now. The Arkenstone, I believe is what it was called. He was possessed by... Because the Arkenstone is pretty much like a perfect gem that exudes and brings out the worst personality. It's pretty much like the One Ring. You know how the One Ring can bewitch a person into like betraying their friends, all to keep the power of that One Ring? It's the same thing. The Arkenstone pretty much bewitched Thorin into pretty
So he
much
turned
not
into a huge
trusting
asshole when he
anyone.
died.
Well, he became an asshole when the Arkenstone pretty much had possessed his will, but then when he realized, you know what? The Arkenstone is not the important thing here. The important thing is the people I took this journey with. My brethren, my family, and Bilbo Baggins, who sacrificed everything to save my life. And eventually he did pass away. And spoilers for a book that's what, almost 70 years old at this point?
Oh, I think it might be older.
Yeah. So the thing is, I love The Hobbit. The Hobbit is a great book, and The Lord of the Rings is a great book.
I read The Hobbit for the first time.
Okay.
And
well,
I haven't read further.
So the Hobbit movies, the person who plays Thorin is the one who plays Trevor Belmont.
Neat.
Richard Armitage, I believe is his name.
I need to see them.
Okay. They're pretty good. The Hobbit movies are pretty good. The Lord of the Rings movies are fucking amazing.
I've seen one of them. I think it was Desolation of Smaug.
Desolation of Smaug? Yeah, well, it has Big Scaly Boy in it, so go figure.
This has happened multiple times that I've talked about, but I went on a date with some guy and he told me that's what we were seeing, and I said, okay.
So, okay, what we'll do is, we've talked about this for so long, where you're coming over more often now.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but you guys want to do the extended cut.
Well, we won't if you don't want to. Like, if you want to watch the extended cut...
My opinion on that is, I would like to see them, and then if I have enough interest, I'll go into the extended cut. But I think if we start with the extended cut, I'm just going to be like, this is so fucking long. Fuck.
Well, okay. Well, we'll start out with the regular cuts. We'll do those with you, and if you want to watch the extended cuts in your spare time, you can do that.
I think on, like, Black Friday, I got, like, the whole 3 set of Lord of the Rings for, like, $7 or something.
Yeah. That's good shit.
I don't have the Hobbit ones, though.
All right, well, we got to move on. We got to do the next one because you got places to be and things to do.
Babies.
Yes. So, again, everybody, thank you all very much for tuning in. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Quinn.
We'll see you then. Peace out.
Rip and tear until it is done.